the last stream, we were working on a little bit of refined storage and applied energistics automation. We set up this system down here with 3 inscribers, all automatically able now to produce processes from refined storage going forward. So at any point in the future, if we want to craft, say, more storage disks or more crafters or more exporters or importers or anything like that from refined storage, we can go into our system, type in processor, and then just request extra processors be crafted automatically by our refined storage system, which should hopefully make our lives a lot easier in terms of expanding and upgrading our refined storage system in the future. And between streams, I have gone ahead and added another 4K storage disk to the disk drive here, so that now we have 12K worth of storage. The main reason for this is, as you can see, we are over the 8,000 that we had at the end of the last stream, and now we're closing in on 12,000 again. The reason for that is that, again, between streams, I have been trying to move over even more of the old base into the new base. That involved moving all of the chests and all of the crates that were previously on this little island right here. I've set up a new giant grass hexagon, hopefully the final hexagon of the initial 5 here. This one is using regular old grass and is going to be for Botania and kind of Botania-like mods. I'll also probably end up moving some of these body pots down onto this area as well. The scorched grass that we put down over here has nicely spread out, so we have a beautiful scorched grass red platform for our blood magic altar. And real quick, chat, I do want to take a look at getting some of the cool blue-looking grass, that being this infused grass right here for the Astral Sorcery area. So to make that, we're going to need to get another pasture seed. This time we need the infused pasture seed, which is made with a regular old pasture seed plus a prismarine shard. Thankfully, we do have a couple of prismarine shards lying around, and I also think, if I'm not mistaken, we did get a prismarine bee earlier on in the series as well. So if we need more, we can always do that. But let's take a look real quick. How does this look? I think it looks quite nice. Again, we're much like with the blood magic area. Eventually, we're going to build out onto there, so it's not going to be just solid grass all around. We're going to have like structures on here and probably some blocks around the edge as well, much like we've got over here with these 2 hexagons. But that should slowly but surely spread over the course of today's stream. And I think the only other thing, chat, that I've done between streams is add this new lower level to the base, because the plan for today's stream is to hopefully finally get the tree farm up and running. We talked about getting it in the last stream. I think we've even talked about it for a few streams before that as well. But I'm hoping to get it planted down here on this lower level. And it's going to be a little bit of an inefficient tree farm because we're going to use the plant sower and a plant gatherer from Industrial Foregoing. And both of these machines have kind of standard square working areas, much like the mob slaughter factory that's down there at the bottom of the world. And so my plan really is to use this platform here almost entirely for growing trees. The reason that it's slightly inefficient is because, one, the platform is circular, so the corners are not going to get used here. And also there's a giant mana glass circle in the middle, which is going to reduce the amount of area that we can actually plant saplings. But I think that's fine, because I think there's still more than enough grass area to produce way more wood than we're ever going to use. So that's the plan for the tree farm. If we're going to make it work, as I mentioned, we're going to need a plant sower and a plant gatherer. Both of these are actually not particularly difficult to make. They are going to require a pity machine frame both times, so we are going to have to pop on over and use our good old-fashioned Botania area, which as of right now is still exactly the same as it was previously. We're also going to need 2 gold gears and 2 iron gears. Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we do have 2 gold gears down on the lower level, and I should really get in the habit of using this brand new elevator that we set up in the last stream. Right now, I think, yeah, this is set to plate mold because we were making steel plates. However, we should have a gear mold, and we should be able to place that down right about there, and then just throw in some iron. Again, we can't put the iron in the hopper, unfortunately. It has to go directly on the belt if you're making gears. I am thinking, chat, that we should probably get some kind of, like, item frame or drying rack. Do we have a drying rack installed? Spice rack, tool rack. Provides tools to recipes. It doesn't look like we do. I'm basically thinking it would be nice to have a place to store the press molds that was like just here. I guess we can just put them in the chest here. That's also like perfectly fine for now. I was kind of hoping we could put like a drying rack here and kind of hang them, but alas, it would appear we do not have a mod that adds a drying rack in the pack. Either way, what are we missing here? We're missing 2 pistons. That is very doable. For the plant gatherer, we need 2 axes and an iron hoe. All of those do require sticks, which is of course kind of the whole reason that we're doing this. We are fairly low on sticks, but if we do something like this and like this, that should be pretty much everything outside of the pity machine frame there for both the plant sower and the plant gatherer. So let's quickly go ahead and see if we can't get 2 more pity machine frames. Chat is pointing out that we do have glass item frames in the pack, which might look good here. We do need to get some leather to make those because we first have to make a regular item frame. Thankfully, we do have a little bit of rotten flesh from the zombie bee that we had up a little bit earlier in the series. I will put the zombie bee back in when we get this apiary here up and running. And speaking of apiaries, I don't want to get too off track right at the start here, but I think we can get a tier 4 apiary. Yeah, we're missing 24 logs and 1,840 grass. The grass, of course, is over there still. And I think what I will do temporarily is I will just move this down. And I guess we'll also move this as well because this is where our wood is. Temporarily, I'm going to put both of these down over here so that they're connected to this draw network. It's going to look bad. However, if we do that, we are going to be able to craft, or request, I should say, our first tier 4 apiary, start and start. Now, one thing we don't have just yet that we should probably look to get is a crafting monitor. The crafting monitor is a pretty nifty block that allows you to see what current craft is taking place and like how far through that craft the crafters are. Because you'll see it's taking a while to get this craft done, which makes sense because there are so many items to craft here. So if we quickly grab some quartz enriched iron, which we now have 1,000 of thanks to that quartz enriched iron B that we got going at the end of the last stream, we can hopefully fairly quickly, and hopefully before the craft finishes, get another machine casing, quickly craft that up into a crafting monitor, and then if we for now just put that down maybe somewhere like here, we should be able to see what is currently being crafted. So you'll see right now, there are still 2,000 honey blocks to be crafted. It's crafting those slowly but surely. There's like a bunch of beehives of all tiers still to be crafted, a bunch of apiaries. This is going to take quite a bit of time to finish just because there's so much stuff that has to be crafted before it can be done. You can make this faster. Down in these crafters here, there are spaces on the right-hand side for speed upgrades. These guys right here, which are also not too difficult to make. Quartz-enriched iron, sugar, and a basic upgrade, which is more quartz-enriched iron with glass and an improved processor. So we'll probably look at adding those to some of these crafters in the future. Also, the more crafters you have, like if we had another crafter and we split some of these recipes out, we could make it faster as well, because right now this one crafter is trying to do all of this crafting, whereas if we had, for example, 9 crafters, each with just one pattern in, they would get the craft done, I believe, much, much faster. But either way, that is a pretty massive detour. The only reason that I'm over here is because we need living rock in order to complete this craft over here. So that is pity machine frame number 1. And number 2. Nice. So that should be everything for the plant sower, and hopefully for the plant gatherer. Beautiful. By default, much like with the Mob Sorter Factory, which is also from the same mod, these don't have a particularly large working area. So if we were to, for example, put the plant gatherer down right about here, it does work from the front, so it's going to destroy trees in front of it here. If we go and we show the working area, you'll see right now, it's only going to destroy trees that are grown right here. So I think if I were to, first of all, go and get within range of my system, and again, real quick, we might take a slight detour here. Now that we have the refined storage automation, can we make these range upgrades fairly quickly? I think we can, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put those in up here. That's going to increase the range at which we can use our wireless crafting grid from 16 to 48 blocks, which I think should mean that down here, yeah, we can just open this up and still access all of our things, which is super nice. Let me do a quick check here. I'm not actually quite sure like how far away the back of here is. That is out of range, but only just. Like over here, you can still access it, but as we cross like to here, it's out of range. So if we really wanted to cover the whole base, we'd have to add more wireless access points, which really shouldn't be too difficult for us, especially given that we do have access to wireless refined storage with the network transmitter and receiver. But for now, at least, we should be able to access our system basically anywhere in our base. So over here, I was going to get a flux point, which we are going to have to craft here. Boom, and we'll do boom. We'll make sure that is set to the correct network. And then if I were to grab a sapling, put that sapling down right about here, and grow that sapling, it should then get torn down. Yeah, look at that. The plant gatherer there, slowly but surely tearing down that tree, and there we go, and it's storing all of this stuff inside of it. Nice. So the plan here, of course, is to add in a range add-on, much like we did with the plant, with the mob slaughter factory. We're going to put a range add-on in on the right, and hopefully increase the range of the plant gatherer to include almost the entire area here, which I think should be doable if we get the highest tier of range add-on, that being the emerald range add-on right here, which at this point in time really shouldn't be too difficult for us to make. Over in the old dissolution chamber here, let's quickly grab a bucket so we can move some latex from here into here. We then need 2 redstone, 4 emeralds, and 2 glass pins. 2 glass pins, 4 emeralds, and 2 redstone. And boom, we have a tier, the highest tier of range add-on, tier 12. So if we go down and put this in here, preferably without taking too much damage, that should, yeah, quite handily cover the whole area. I think we probably could have gone with a lower tier, actually. We could have gone with the tier 11 and maybe even the tier 10 as well would have done it, because it would have come, I think, right to the edge here. But either way, this is fine. We have a ton of emeralds, so it doesn't really matter which one we go with. Now, the plant sower has to go directly in the center of the farm. So let's go ahead and turn that off. And so we kind of have to put this right about here, which does mean we have to break some of our mana glass. Thankfully, you do get mana glass back when you break it. I guess we didn't actually have to break it. We could have just flown underneath. But if we do something like this should hopefully cover the full area just as soon as we get an upgrade into it. The plant sower does need to be 1 block below wherever you want to gather from. So it does need to be like, 2 blocks below where your trees are going to be like this. You can see the working area 2 blocks above it. If we quickly steal the tier 12 range add-on here and we throw that in, we should see the exact same that we saw before. Yeah, this is more than big enough to cover the whole area here. It does have to be visible. So like right now, of course, we have these mana glass circles in the middle. So we are going to be able to see that. And I was kind of talking with the Twitch chat a minute ago as to what to do about this, whether or not we should keep the plant sower visible or whether we should set up multiple plant sowers and kind of hide them, because we could, if we wanted to, move the plant sower over to like here and then just have one over there and one over here and have 2 of them planting saplings so that we can't see it, right? So it just happens, but we don't see it. I might do that in the future, although to be fair, I quite like the look of the plant sower there, so I might just leave it as well. Either way, we do need to get 1 more range add-on, which again really should not be too difficult here. We are going to have to get another flux point, but again, that really shouldn't be too difficult. Someone did mention that we should probably look at teaching our system how to make flux points, which I really don't think is a bad idea, actually, given that we do use them quite regularly, and most of the new machines that we put down almost always get a flux point. So if we quickly request some more patterns here, what we should be able to do is teach our system how to make the flux core, and then from there, teach it how to make the flux point. It already has redstone blocks taught, just due to the fact that it has redstone in a compacting drawer. We'll throw those in here. We are out of crafting space now, so we would have to make yet more crafters if we were going to auto-craft even more. But what we should now be able to do, much like with everything else we've auto-crafted, is just click start, and boom, look at that, we get a flux point. The fact that that finished so quickly leads me to believe that the tier 4 apiary is complete. Oh, it's not. It's still going, eh? I guess it didn't need this crafter. Yeah, I guess all the remaining crafts are still being done over here. Let's do a quick check on the old crafting monitor. Yeah, it's getting there, slowly but surely. But either way, let's get this flux point down under here. Make sure that's connected to our network. And yeah, that should be good to go. So now if we grab a bunch of saplings and we put those saplings in, I'm fairly certain what should happen is all of those saplings should get planted on the grass. And by the way, this on the left here, there is like a 9x9 grid. You can use the sower to plant different crops. So for example, if we only put oak saplings up in the top left here, it would only plant oak saplings in like the top left quadrant of the area that the plant sower covers. So you can have like, you know, carrots and wheat and all kinds of different things being planted at the same time. For us, we just want to plant saplings. So we're just going to put trees in all of these. And then if we put the saplings in on the right, we should hopefully see that begin to plant them. Look at that. Beautiful. So right now there's no, nothing accelerating the speed of the trees. So they will just kind of grow as they naturally would. Once this all fills in, that is going to be a lot of trees. So they will grow quite quickly and will start producing wood fairly quickly as well. The one downside to this system right now is speed. You'll notice that it's not really planting the saplings that fast. And even once these saplings grow into trees, the gatherer here doesn't really tear them down that fast. And so I think that it is finally time, chat, to look at getting some of the speed upgrades that I've talked about getting for quite some time now. That being these ones right here, the Tier 2 speed add-on from Industrial Foregoing, alongside the Tier 2 efficiency add-on, this one right here. The way the add-ons work, by the way, with Industrial Foregoing, you can't have both a Tier 1 and a Tier 2 efficiency or speed upgrade in the same machine. You can only have one or the other. So it's best to just go for Tier 2 straight away as opposed to making the Tier 1. And so for both of these, we need diamond gears, we need redstone, we need glass panes. The speed upgrades require sugar. The efficiency upgrades require blaze rods. I think I'm going to make 3 of each of these because I want to speed up our plant gatherer, our plant sower, and I also want to speed up our mob slaughter factory as well. So I want all 3 of those machines to be really as fast as they can possibly be. So if we're going to do that, that means we need 6 upgrades in total, which is 12 diamond gears, which is 48 diamonds. As per usual, we're going to drop those down over here. Like so. Those should slowly but surely get stamped. And then from there, all we have to do, of course, is much like with the range add-ons we just made, we just have to grab the glass panes, of which we're going to need more than 10, so I will craft up a couple more here. We're probably not going to need more than 26, though. We'll grab some redstone. We'll also grab some blaze rods, and sugar could be a problem. Actually, never mind. I completely forgot that we're making sugar from our regular honeycombs. Like when we process those, we get regular sugar, so we've got a ton of sugar ready to go. And so making all of these in the dissolution chamber really shouldn't be too difficult for us. Unfortunately, you can't stack these. Like you can't have more than one of any item in any slot at any given time. So we do have to do these kind of one at a time here, chat, but that's fine. Do they need latex? They do need latex. It also didn't occur to me, but the dissolution chamber is also from Industrial Foregoing, and so in the interest of making these upgrades faster, we can put the speed and efficiency add-ons into the dissolution chamber first, and then make more for the other machines. I think that's definitely worth it, especially given how many recipes in this mod pack require the dissolution chamber. And look at that, it's already so much faster. The efficiency add-on is weird. You'd think it would just make it so that it used less power, but from my experience, the efficiency add-on just makes the machine even faster, like it acts almost like a second speed add-on. Okay, so a few more upgrades later. I'm going to leave these in the dissolution chamber because we definitely need those in there. Now though, if we go and put the speed and range add-on into the plant sower, and then we replace in the saplings here, we should see these saplings getting planted much, much faster. Look at that. So now we do the same thing over with the plant gatherer, and we'll also do the same thing with our mob slaughter factory. And hopefully we should see these mobs disappearing a little bit faster. You'll see that progress bar there going down nice and quick. Still a lot of mobs there. They will slowly disappear as I stand there because more don't spawn if I'm that close. But up here, we should hopefully see saplings almost everywhere on this grass. We are, of course, going to have to put more saplings into the plant sower because we don't quite have enough in there just yet to cover the whole base. But now, chat, what we need to do is we need to configure our plant gatherer and our plant sower to make this automatic. Because at the minute, what's going to happen is the trees are going to grow, and we can kind of force them to grow right by shifting here. But the trees are going to grow, the plant gatherer is going to tear them down, but then that's going to kind of be the end of it, right? We need to get the saplings back to the plant sower, and we need to get all of the rest of the items, the sticks, the logs, and the apples, up into their own respective storage drawers, up on that higher level. Real quick, though, if we do... I don't know how wide the area is here, but yeah, we can really quickly, like, fill in this entire area just by shifting. And I think, yeah, you can see that the harvester there is... It's not called the harvester, it's called a gatherer. The gatherer is tearing those trees down very quickly, like, super quickly. So we know this works, which is perfect. Let's do a little bit of configuring. So one thing you'll notice is that we are getting sludge here. The sludge, I believe, does slow down the speed at which the plant gatherer works. Now, normally I would delete sludge. However, there is a machine called the sludge refiner that I think we can use to generate certain items, which might be worth looking into. For now, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make another quantum tank. The tank that can hold 2 billion millibuckets of any given fluid. And so if we just do something like this, and of course make sure that I set to extract, that should pull all of the sludge there out of the harvester and store it in here. And then potentially in the future, we could use the sludge from this quantum tank in like a sludge refiner. For the moment, though, this should have more than enough space to basically hold all of the sludge that we will ever need it to hold. Now we need to focus on getting this stuff over to where it needs to go. So I think, once again, chat, we're going to use a couple of item routers here. And it should really just be as simple as taking the items out of the plant gatherer. And I think I'm going to put the item router like right here, mostly just for symmetry with the quantum tank there. We'll then grab an item cable. We will extract from the plant gatherer over into here. And essentially, all we're going to do is we're going to have 2 senders. One of the senders, and actually we might already have the senders. We do, beautiful, let's grab both of those. One of the senders is going to be whitelisted for saplings. That one is going to send items to the plant sower, like so. The other one is going to have saplings blacklisted, and that one is going to send saplings up and into the draw controller. Now, at the moment, we do have this drawer. I think we're going to break that out into 3 separate drawers, one for each of the oak logs, sticks, and apples. But for now, if we do this and this, we should hopefully start to see those items getting sent to the correct location, so long as they are within range, which it looks like they are. Now, there is potentially going to be a problem here if we get too many saplings. Now that I think about it, because if we get too many saplings, then this item router is going to back up. And so what might not be a terrible idea, actually, is maybe getting a storage drawer. It's kind of hard for me to work in here because there's so many trees growing around us. But if we get a storage drawer with a void upgrade, what we could do, and we are going to have to make an upgrade template there, that is fine. But what we could do here is we could have... Ooh, it's going to be awkward with this flux point. And it is kind of making me want to, ooh, how do I want to do this? I guess, okay, I was going to put an item cable here and the drawer beneath it. What we can do, even though it's going to be a little bit more janky, is we can put down the drawer basically like right here, right? Take the coal coke out of it. We don't need the coal coke in there. Put in the void upgrade, put in the sapling, and lock that to sapling. We're then going to change the sender that is going to the sower there to here. So all of the saplings are going to go directly into this drawer right here. I think what we'll do then is we'll just have another item router that pulls out of this drawer and sends directly over to the plant sower. This time we don't need to do any filtering, don't need to do any whitelisting. We just right click here and put this in here. Actually, let's move that forward one. That way we can have an item cable here and extract. And so that should continually fill that up. We might have to invest in some speed upgrades and potentially some stack upgrades for this if it's not sending the saplings fast enough. But I think over time it should be okay. Yeah, this is definitely going to need a speed upgrade or a stack upgrade or both, actually, because it is, at the minute, way too slow. So 6 stack and 9 speed upgrades, and we should see all of these items getting pulled out nice and quickly. Of course, the problem here is that we don't have anywhere to send them, I guess. Is there not a void upgrade in here? There isn't. Okay, so let's actually quickly make 3 more drawers. 1 for oak, 1 for sticks, and 1 for apples. So we now have drawers for each of those. We already had 1 for logs, but now apples and sticks are there as well. They could both probably do with a void upgrade. The stick drawer is really the drawer that we're after. And whilst I don't necessarily think we're going to need more than 2,048 sticks, I will put in an emerald upgrade to allow us to hold 65,000 sticks, and therefore we should be able to really get as many tier 4 apiaries as we like. The sticks shouldn't be our limiting factor, but you can see that this is working. We could look at making this like even faster if we wanted to. Right now, of course, the trees are only growing whenever they would kind of naturally grow, which is already quite fast. They're not growing slow by any stretch of the imagination, but if we wanted to, we could take it one step further, and we could look at adding a bunch of stuff actually to increase the speed at which those trees grow. I believe industrial foregoing does add a fertilizer. Yeah, this guy right here. You can place this guy down, feed it with fertilizer, and then it will use that fertilizer to increase the growth of any plants within its working area. There's no recipe for the fertilizer here, but chat is telling me that you can use bone meal in the fertilizer. And chat is also telling me that we do have a skeleton bee. So we could look, if we wanted to in a future stream, at setting up a skeleton bee with potentially a tier 4 apiary to get these skeleton honeycomb blocks. We can then, of course, use those skeleton honeycomb blocks to produce bones. We can then craft those into bone meal and export those down into a plant fertilizer. For now, I don't think that's necessary. I think this is working more than fast enough. You can see that we're already kind of running into issues here. Why are you not sending those oak saplings? We had a regulator augment in this sender, which, because this sender used to be the one that we were using for honey, we no longer need the regulator augment because we now have an exporter sending our honey blocks to the melter. But that means that we can now put this back in. That was slowing us down because it was only storing 10 oak saplings in this drawer here, which meant all the rest of the saplings were backing up in here still. But that is now working perfect. If we take a look in our system, we have over 1,000 oak logs, and that should continue to go up as time goes on. That 1,000 oak logs doesn't include the oak log drawer that we've now taken down, and is right here. We had even more in there, although at this point in time we don't really need these. We can put that away in the system. This should hopefully be back online. It is. Those are being made. Over here, these are the wrong way around. If we fix that real quick, this is going to start working again. And hopefully that problem shouldn't occur in the future, because I think we should always have honey blocks and honeycombs available. But circling back around to earlier in the stream, we should now have a tier 4 apiary. Nice. So now, if we take this and let's say we put it, I guess over here, we don't really need many more of the resources that we have here, at least not for regular craft. Like it already seems like we have an excessive amount of diamonds and emeralds, but if we're going to make some of the late game items like the creative vending upgrade here, we are going to have a ton of emeralds and a ton of diamonds. The recipe for the ultimate singularity here, by the way, a little bit bugged in this version, but has been fixed, I believe, in a new version of the pack. But rest assured that each ultimate singularity requires a diamond singularity. Each diamond singularity requires, I think, 10,000 diamonds as well. So we need, at least 80,000 diamonds for this one craft here. But other crafts also require that ultimate singularity. And so we definitely do want to upgrade these apiaries here. So let's quickly grab a block that we can use to fill in the front of the apiary. This is one of those times where we do really want to make sure that there are no bees in the apiary at all when we break it. And what we should be able to do is drop down our new tier 4 apiary right about here. And hopefully, if we get rid of this dirt here, we should see bees start to fly in. And these bees should now start to produce just an insane amount of resources. Look at that. All of the bees filling up in there. 8 out of 9. Wow. We need to get one more bee in here, but we're almost fully packed, which is perfect. But now each time these bees finish in the apiary here, they're going to produce 8 blocks of their given honeycomb, which are going to get processed in here. Look at that. 8 blocks at a time. And if we quickly disable the extraction here, we can kind of see how crazy that is, because each one of, for example, these lapis honeycomb blocks produces 72 lapis in here. So we're going to get so much redstone, so much lapis, so many emeralds, so many diamonds. They just, the number of resources we're going to get from these tier 4 apiaries is insane. It's actually pretty crazy, to the point where we should probably look at drastically increasing the amount of storage that we have in our storage drawers. Because I think, for example, we're probably going to start to hit the limit of some of these drawers here fairly soon. I'm actually not quite sure what the limit is for a compacting drawer with an emerald upgrade. It might be 65,000 blocks, at which point we're only halfway there on the redstone. And if that is the case, then maybe we don't need to upgrade it any further. But for things that are stored in these drawers here, we're definitely going to start hitting those limits sooner rather than later. I kind of want to go through a little bit here, chat, and complete some of the quests here that have not yet been completed. For example, I think we are pretty much good on Chapter 1 here. The newest update to the pack did add this quest here for a brick hopper, which wasn't available back when we started the pack, but now there is a brick hopper. So if you're starting the pack new, now you can make this, and this would have made my life so much easier. We had to spend so much time kind of sifting to get all the iron required to make hoppers. Being able to make a brick hopper using the clay that you get from dust in a barrel would have made life a heck of a lot easier. I assume these are slower, but even still, just having them would make life a lot easier. We need to get a clay water bucket. So let's quickly craft up one of those. Do we have to smelt this? We do, yeah. Again, another quest that we should have got right at the start. We have completed this, but we didn't get credit for it. And then once we make or pick up our cobblestone generator, the only quest left in here is the netherite mesh, which again we should be able to make nice and easily. Let's steal this emerald mesh here. We do now have netherite. It took us a while, chat. But netherite mesh, let's quickly craft up that. Oh, it has to be done. Oh, you need a diamond mesh. That is interesting. It makes sense. It's in line with how you make all of the other netherite bits and pieces, but still a little bit tedious because it means we have to go through and manually make another diamond mesh here, but that is not going to be a problem for us. We'll go flint into iron into diamond. The nice part is that it only requires one netherite. And boom. And that should, I think, as soon as we get a bucket of water, which we've done, and this cobblestone generator, that should be the first quest and the first chapter complete. There we go. All right, chat. It only took us 18 streams, but Chapter 1 ex nihilo is done. It's complete. I think we can probably also complete Chapter 2 here, actually. We need to make a Tier 2 storage upgrade and a Tier 4 storage upgrade. Those are both upgrades that we've yet to make. Again, both of those should just be simple crafts here, I think. We don't need sticks for that. But that is those two done. We also need an illumination upgrade, which is actually one that I've not made before. And presumably, yeah, illuminates the drawer labels in the dark. Interesting. I might put some of these into my my drawers here. We always have more upgrade slots than we ever need. There are a ton of upgrade slots in the drawers, and so it might not be a terrible idea to put a couple of these in, especially given that you get 8 at a time here. I'm actually not quite sure how good they are, but it would allow us to get rid of maybe some of the torches nearby here. Potentially. Yeah, I don't see any red X's, so it seems like this is working. Oh, yeah, look at that. That one kind of lit up a little bit. As did that one. Oh, yeah, kind of brightens them up ever so slightly. At least some of them. We might put some more of those in later, I'm not too sure. But back up here, what else do we have to do for Chapter 2 here? We need a draw controller slave. We need a quantify key, and then oak trim and a 1x2 oak draw. Both of those should be nice and easy to do. 1x2 oak draw is much like the 2x2, but it can just hold 2 items instead of 4. This one can hold, I think it's 1024 of 2 items, as opposed to 2048 of 1, or 512 of 4, if that makes sense. Get rid of those. The quantify key shows or hides stored quantity labels. Needs a book and quill. The book is going to need leather, which is going to mean we have to get another flesh smelting here. We also need a feather and an ink sac, neither of which we have. We might not be able to do this quest, chat. We've yet to come across a squid, nor have we yet to come across a feather, actually. So unfortunately, I think we're going to have to forego that quest. The trim quest is nice and easy. And the controller slave quest should also be fairly easy for us to do here. These are both nifty pieces of tech that you can use for your refined storage system. The trim allows you to kind of extend your refined storage system without requiring drawers. So, for example, if you do something like this, like boom, 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 I could put a drawer here and it would still be connected to the controller because it's connected through trim. So the trim's like a nice, easy way to kind of extend your refined storage network. And a super nifty thing you can do is you can make, I believe, custom trim. And this is one thing I did consider doing. Instead of going with wireless refined storage, I considered making framed trim that looked like the Dark Oak planks here, and then just kind of running trim like from the top of this along the floor and having like the export bus be up here or have my controller up here. That could have also worked. So you can use trim that way. You can only go 12 blocks away from the controller in any direction, by the way. The controller slave is basically the same as the controller. It allows you to pump items in, take items out. Common misconception, the draw controller slave does not extend the range of your draw controller. So even if you put down a slave here, you can't go 12 blocks away from the slave. You can still only go 12 blocks away from the central controller. So this doesn't make your range bigger. It just allows you to have a second controller on the network if you want it. So that's basically chapter 2 done. We just need the feather and the ink sac there, and that'll be that bit done. As for chapter 3, we're almost done over here. We do need to actually craft a tier 2 and a tier 3 apiary. Can I craft those? Tier 3 apiary. No, we're missing a lot of stuff for those, so we're going to have to wait on that one, unfortunately. And then, of course, there are all of these bees here that we are going to have to get at some point to be able to get their combs and complete the quest, but that is fine. Immersive engineering-wise, there's still quite a bit for us to do in here, and I think the same is true for a lot of these other quest lines. We are going to have to make the tier 1 efficiency and speed add-ons if we want to complete these quests, but for the most part, I think that's most of the quests done that we have done. Chat has pointed out I missed an obsidian upgrade, that being this one right here. There we go, that quest is now complete. Now that we have that tier 4 apiary, chat, what we should probably do is start putting bees into this apiary right here, the one that has the regular old flowers in it. And now I have, being the fool that I am, put these in the wrong side of the apiary. I want those in over here. But there are a couple of bees that we do want to get in here. And we actually do want to set up, or reset up, I should say, regular vanilla Minecraft bees. Because if we're going to make more tier 4 apiaries, which I think we definitely do want to do eventually, we'd love to have 4 tier 4 apiaries for, all 36 of the bees that we end up working with. If we're going to get that, though, we do have to get more honeycomb, because the honeycomb is required a ton in the making of those tier 4 apiaries. So we should definitely get 2 regular bees, just regular Minecraft bees, throw those in over here. And let me do a quick check here. If we just type in bee, which other bees require flowers, like any flower to pollinate? The coal bee, the cobblestone bee, the dust bee, the gravel bee, the icy bee, marble bee, RGB, sand bee, sieve bee, snowball bee, and zombie bee. So I think we're going to do zombie bee, coal bee, regular bee, and RGB. Unlike some of the other bees, we actually want to send the RGB's honeycomb just directly to its own drawer, so that in the future we could use it for auto-crafting, like we could teach our system how to craft all of the different dyes. And I think this is really all that we need in here. There are definitely fewer bees than I was expecting that just require any Minecraft flower to pollinate. And so I think what I might end up doing in the future is kind of adding in more bees here, but getting rid of some of these flowers and replacing them with other, blocks that bees can pollinate on. Because we really want to have, 9 bees in each apiary where possible. As per usual, if you put down the well, as soon as I say bees go in there, if you put down the apiary before you put down the bees, sometimes they don't go in there, but actually it looks like these guys are working just fine. So to make the RGB work, we're going to need another puller module, and we're also going to need another sender module. And on top of that, we're also going to have to reconfigure the current puller modules that we have as well. Sender. So essentially, up here, we need to take the puller module and just pull everything from here over to here. So, but then if we take out the senders, what we need to do is we need to take an RGB honeycomb. Oh, you can't put those back in, eh? The senders. And then we need to blacklist the, yeah. And then we need to blacklist the RGB honeycomb in the sender that sends everything kind of just like down into the crate. And then we also need to whitelist the RGB honeycomb in the sender module that's going to send it to its own storage drawer. So we'll put you back, we'll go and we'll right click you. Actually in the sender module, I guess we can just right click this onto here. Back, we'll go and we'll right click you like that. And I think that should work. Let's rearrange those just to make them look a little bit nicer. So if we kind of force in this RGB honeycomb, hopefully that should get sent down to here. Right now the silicon is not going anywhere. It's quite possible that I didn't put a void upgrade into our silicon drawer. Your honeycomb. Hopefully that should get, yeah, you are full up. Right now the silicon is not going anywhere. It's quite possible that I didn't put a void upgrade into, that's fine. If we quickly unlock that top right drawer up here, yeah, there we go. That's the RGB honeycomb coming in. We can go ahead and lock that up and put a void upgrade in there as well. But now going forward, we should continue to get RGB honeycombs in that slot up there, which are going to slowly but surely transform in color over time. And yeah, going forward, we can automate our systems to be able to use those to produce different dyes, you know, as and when we see fit. So I think that's probably, chat, about where we're going to wrap things up for today's stream. Next time, we'll come back. I think we want to start getting a bit more work done with blood magic and astral sorcery, because if we're going to delve into Mekanism a bit more, which I think is really the next kind of big mod that has a lot of the stuff we want to work with, it's got some really cool power generation, some really cool machines that we can work with. If we're going to get into this mod, we're going to need to upgrade our blood magic systems quite a bit. You know, we want to get a much bigger altar, we want a much faster altar, all that good stuff. And the same is kind of true for Astral Sorcery. Astral Sorcery adds a bunch of cool stuff that I want to work with. We don't really need much more Astral Sorcery to get into any of the later mods. I think, in fairness, we've probably used almost all of the Astral Sorcery we need. You really just need to use it to get to the Blood Altar in terms of like raw progression. But there are some nifty things we can do with like the higher tier altars and the Starlight Infusion and whatnot. We can get some cool perks. And with the Attunement Altar, we can even give ourselves custom skills, which are going to make our lives better in the future and make the game just a bit more fun to play or perk. But yeah, next time we'll come back, we'll maybe work on a bit of blood magic and then look towards getting into Mekanism. I still want to get some more power generation going. Our power gen is probably getting a bit close to its limits, but we have a tree farm now, which I'm very happy with. This platform is also getting a bit cramped, so we'll probably end up at some point getting even like another platform even lower down, maybe for some more automation in the future. For now though, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's stream there.